Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon Drop. I'm your host, Myron. Today, we've got a bottle that I've kind of been wanting to get on the channel for a while now. It does pique my interest. When I had the Murray Hill Club, I didn't give it the best review. So then I kind of stopped looking at the Joseph Magnus, and the fact that it's got 3 different finishings kind of put me off. But shout out to Henry Harris, man. I promised you that I was going to do a review, and here it is. Let's get it.
Bottle drop, bottle drop, bottle drop.
So I'll tell you what, it's actually 2 people that made me want to go ahead and review this bottle. So Dave Vogel saying, shout out to you, Dave, for giving me my first sample of cigar blend. That thing really opened my eyes. Now I know you can't judge one distillery or company. Let's keep it real. You can't judge one company by one product. So I should not have, once the Murray Hill Club didn't do it for me, I should not have written off everything else. I do like things with the finish, but sometimes finishes scare me because sometimes they can be over finished. Now, this Joseph Magnus, it's the regular, it's triple cask finish, so it's got sherry and cognac and the oak cask that it was originally aged in. Sometimes having, that many finishes, you're kind of like caught up in the finish and the bourbon kind of loses out. But however, once I got my hands on the Joseph Magnus, I was like, oh, wow. That was a great bottle. Now, they're all batched differently. So this is bottle number 23, and this is batch, I believe, 165. Sorry about that. This Joseph Magnus is bottle number 723, and this is batch number 360. Joseph Magnus comes in at 100 proof on the nose. But Henry Harris, he reached out to me in the comments. He was like, hey, I kind of trust your palate, and me and you, we get similar notes. He said, I'm kind of on the fence. I really am looking towards buying that bottle. I like to see what you think. So can you put it on the channel and do a review? So here we are. Shout out to you, Henry Harris, man. Let's get into the nose and see if this thing is worth it. Hopefully it's something that you can go out and buy. More of chocolate on the nose. There's a fruit. I can't pick it out just yet. It's almost appley. It's almost an apple, almost a pear. Chocolate and ethanol. Now that may change once I take a sip, because normally once I take a sip, it does change how the glass presents itself on the nose. So let's get into the palate. Light on the palate. There's a lot of honey, and it's very nutty. This is nutty. It's very nutty. A lot of honey sweetness. That ethanol that I smelled in the glass transferred over 400 proof. It's not drinking super hot, and it's not lighting my nose up, but I can tell that it's there. There's a little bit of, I would say, char to leather on the finish. So the back of the palate is more char and leather, and even on the mid. But that honey note, that honey and nutty note, it was very prominent. Go back into the nose one more time. Nothing changed. It's more, like I said, it's like an apple slash pear, and it is not that sour green apple. It's kind of like It's almost in between like your red apple, sour green apple. It's got a little bit of a pear note on it. And I'm still getting ethanol. Sometimes that goes away, but that ethanol note did not go away. And I actually kind of need it because my nose has been wrecked lately. I don't know what it's been. It's been like stuffy on one side, open on the other side. I'm going back and forth. Let's go back into the palate one more time. It kind of dulls out. It's dull, and then bam, it's like the honey just comes through, then goes away. The finish does not stick around for a long time. It's a sweet leather and then charry on the finish. So after the first sip, it was really charry on the mid palate, and it had like a leather finish on the back. And now it's like, it's bland up front, a little bit nutty up front. Then in the middle, it like wakes up with honey, then it's gone, and then you've got leather and char on the back. This is only 100 proof, so I'm not expecting it to be super viscous. I don't know how old it is, so I can't give you those stats on it. But I mean, I'm not saying that it's bad, and I'm not saying that it's good. It's just kind of like in the middle. It's like kind of middle of the road. The finish, what scared me was the finish. I thought that sherry and cognac was really going to take over, but it didn't. It didn't, and that was surprising. I'm honestly, if you gave me that in a glass and you asked me if you thought that was finished, I would say no. It doesn't have those finished notes that I sometimes find in some other finished products. Let's get into the breakdown. Is it worth the chase? I know it is on the shelves in most states. Henry Harris has been looking at it for a while. He wanted to know, basically, is it worth the chase? And Henry, I'm going to have to say no. It is a 100 proof product. It comes off as middle of the road. It is nothing that is wowing me, blowing me away for. I can find it for $89.99. I can find it for $100. I have not seen it cheaper than that. And that is asking a lot for a 100 proof, middle of the road product. Is it worth over retail? You know what? Shout out to S&W, because had it not been for S&W, I might have waited a little longer to pick these up. S&W had this as a 2-pack for $240. So I just said that, I haven't seen it cheaper than $89.99. But when you start doing the math by these being the 2-pack, then yeah, it was cheaper than $89.99. However, it is not worth over retail. It is a middle of the road product. Like I said, $90 normally. Sometimes you see it for $99. That is asking a lot for something that does not really truly deliver. I mean, that is a big amount for what you are getting, in my opinion. And as I was talking, I started to get some of those raisin notes that I can sometimes pick up in cognac. So the finishes, it's not the longest finish in the world. It's a little fleeting. Like the raisin is kind of in and out as I'm talking. So it's kind of like there, but then not there. It's thin, it's fast moving. But anyway, would I give it to a new bourbon drinker? At 100, it drinks a little hotter than 100. I might be a little hesitant to give this one here to a new bourbon drinker. And I know I came off Dry January and spice was a big note that I was picking up. However, I think I've finally gotten rid of that. But tonight, this thing actually drank a little bit above 100 proof. It just kind of opened me up just a little bit. So I don't think I would it wouldn't be the first thing that I would offer a new bourbon drinker. Because it does drink a little warmer than its proof. Will it always be on the bar? It'll be on the bar because I am not going to it a lot. And that is probably the only reason why. This is not something that I would drink and be like, oh my gosh, man, I am running through that fast. I need to go out and pick up another one. Proof, price, what you're getting, it's going to be on the bar because I'm not going to it. And with that being said, let the whiskey flow. Never run out unless you head it to a drop. Until next time.